I've never felt so hesitant to talk about a movie before. Not because I didn't love it, not because there was too much or too little to talk about, but because of how deeply it connected with me on a personal level. Every time I try to put it into words, I feel overcome with emotion. Maquia, When the Promised Flower Blooms, is set in a fantasy world, but at its heart, it tells one of the most profoundly human stories there is: the love between a parent and a child. It doesn't shout to get your attention. It's not like it's begging to be heard. Instead, this movie gently whispers about love, about loss, and about the quiet passing of time. Hi, I'm Sway, and I like anime. Today I want to tell you why you need to watch Maquia When the Promised Flower Blooms, whether you're an anime fan or not. Because this isn't just a beautifully animated film, it's an emotional masterpiece. It's gonna hit you with gut punches, move you to tears, and make you want to call your mom right when the movie ends. We follow our protagonist, Maquia, a member of a mystical race called the Eorf. Beings who live for hundreds of years but remain physically young, forever looking like teenagers. At just 15 years old, Maquia is a caring and thoughtful person, but also very emotional and afraid of being alone. One day, the village elder warns her, never fall in love with someone from the outside world. If she does, she'll truly experience what it means to be alone. Maquia doesn't fully understand the warning at first, but soon she's forced to either listen to her advice or ignore it completely. And guess which one she does. Her village is attacked by humans seeking the Eorf's power, and in the chaos, Maquia is carried away by a dragon-like beast and dropped into a war-torn land. There in the ruins of a village destroyed like her own, she hears the cry of a baby. Wrapped in the arms of his dead mother, he's completely alone. Without hesitation, Maquia takes the baby into her arms and decides to raise him as her own. From that moment on, Maquia becomes less about fantasy and more about something achingly real: motherhood. Maquia doesn't know how to be a mother. She's still a child herself. Just a kid raising a kid. But even in her inexperience, she chooses love. She names the baby Ariel and raises him, not as some mystical, ageless being, but as a human mother would, learning as she goes. What makes his story hit so hard is that it never romanticizes the experience. Parenting in Maquia isn't portrayed as some glowing, perfect journey. It's painful, it's isolating, and it's full of quiet, unseen sacrifices. It's an honest, beautiful portrayal of motherhood, the pain of letting go, the beauty in sacrifice, and the silent ache of watching someone you love grow up and drift away. We see Maquia stumble, learn, and suffer, not just to survive, but to nurture her child. She's not always strong, she's not always sure, but she keeps going, because that's what parents do. I can only imagine how strong this theme of motherhood would be to people who have kids, how relatable Maquia's struggles are, especially as a single parent. We see all the challenges she goes through, the work she puts in, and the unconditional love she has for her son. I can't wait to rewatch this movie when I become a parent and be able to enjoy it that much more. Now, although the story centers around Maquia as a mother, I found myself connecting deeply with it from the perspective of Ariel, the child. In this point in time, I'm not a parent, but I am someone who was raised, protected, and quietly loved by parents. Watching Ariel grow up, I saw myself in him, in the way he as a kid was carefree and just oblivious to all the things Maquia did for him. Because when you're young, you don't know any better. As he grows into a teenager, he pulls away, he rebels. He says things, does things that hurt her. And it's so real, so human, because most of us have been there, right? We've pushed our parents away at some point, not realizing the quiet heartbreak we're causing them. And Maquia captures that perfectly. And me, being a son who's made countless mistakes, who's said things that I regret, who's taken things for granted, I've connected with this on a level I didn't expect. It made me think about all the quiet ways my parents showed love, the sacrifices they never mentioned, and the patience they gave me even when I didn't deserve it. That's what makes this film so special. As you see Maquia and Ariel's relationship throughout, it forces you to reflect on your relationship with your parents, or in any relationship that you have. The beauty of Maquia is that you get the perspective of both the mother and the child. So no matter what stage in life you are in, This movie is going to speak to you and connect to you in some sort of way. And I could go on and on about the relationship between Maquia and Ariel, but really, I would just be spoiling the entire movie, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to quickly talk about the second most powerful theme this movie explores: time. This movie does a great job at portraying someone who lives much longer than the human life and giving us a perspective of what life would be for that kind of person. The Eorf live for hundreds of years. Maquia fully understands that she will outlive every human she ever meets, and the inevitable pain that comes with forming deep, loving relationships, only to lose them someday. It begs the question, is it better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all? The village elder's warning suggests the answer is no. Protect yourself. Stay distant. The love Maquia could find would only end in heartbreak and loneliness. And she'll live for so long. Eventually, those memories might fade, or worse, disappear completely. So what's the point? Maquia doesn't choose safety. She chooses love, again and again. And that's what the film teaches us. Yes, it is better to have loved and lost. Because no one is meant to stay with you forever. But they never really leave you either. Every relationship shapes us. Every connection leaves us with something. Even if it all remains a memory, it still matters. I think Diane from BoJack Horseman said it best.
I think there are people that help you become the person that you end up being, and you can be grateful for them, even if they were never meant to be in your life forever.
As I look back on my own life, I realize just how true that is. There are so many people who have shaped who I am, people who are no longer around, loved ones who passed away, friends I've drifted apart from, teachers, coworkers, people I only knew briefly. They may not be in my life anymore, but they're still a part of my story. They helped build me, they're with me, always. And that's exactly what Maquia When the Promised Flower Blooms is about. It's not just a fantasy anime. It's a quiet, emotional masterpiece that reminds us how beautiful and heartbreaking it is to love, even when it's just temporary. As you can probably tell by now, I think this movie is a must-watch. I'll just add real quick that it's absolutely stunning. So many scenes are just gorgeous to look at. The animation is beautiful. The voice acting is great. You can watch it dubbed or subbed. I'm usually a sub guy, but this one, dub was great too. The score is phenomenal. It's just a beautifully written film all around. It definitely got me excited to check out more of Mari Okada's work, because after Maquia, I need more of whatever this is. And that's pretty much it for me. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And I'll catch you on the next one, so peace!